Capricorn, happy solar returns. This is your January 2022 soul story. This is a month where you're going to be questioning everything. You'll be seeing things you've never seen before and really having the opportunity to break some cycles for yourself. This is Romy. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. We're going to give you some astrological dates and break the insights down to help you to navigate your way through the next few weeks with these energy conversations. So we're opening up January, Capricorn, with the Two of Air, the Two of Swords. And so interesting that you feel a little bit split, that you have come to this crossroads point. Now, what I want to remind you of is that the energy in January does feel a little bit restless, which if we're not careful can manifest into an energy of feeling a little bit anxious, especially if you feel like you have an important choice or decision to make, or you literally have come to that point of no return in some area of your life. Now, you have a new moon coming in your sign on the 2nd of the month. That's going to be very favorable to just help give you a little bit of an extra energy boost. And what I want to say is it's important more than ever that you take the opportunity to preserve your energy and your well-being, whatever it takes, all the way through this month. Because with that restlessness, and if you allow it kind of to be unmanaged and it moves into that kind of anxiety state, that can be like almost having the hole in the boat. Your energy gets depleted very quickly. So we have this beautiful hedgehog here, and we have the tree, and it's kind of almost like split in the middle here, and we have the two birds talking to one another. Now, you have Venus retrograde still in your sign this month. We're also going to be welcoming Mercury retrograde in Aquarius from the 14th of the month, okay? So there are opportunities to revisit and have some important conversations, but remember, sometimes there's a little bit of that confusion or that haze, that misunderstanding or not being able to get on the same page as somebody. So really what we're seeing is that January is not necessarily the best month for you to be making those really important final choices and decisions. It's a time when you want to be questioning everything, and that discerning mind is so important, Capricorn, because what we're going to be looking at is the validity of things to your personal experience. So being able to absorb, to listen, to observe, but then to really do your own research, to look at all of the options that are playing out here. And there may just not be two, there might be far more that you're not giving yourself the opportunity to really explore fully. It's a time when looking at all of the pathways, experimenting in your own thoughts in terms of, if I go this way, how does it feel? How does it feel emotionally? How does it feel physically within my body? You know, this is a month that can be very beneficial to just kind of sit in the energy of that and allow things to kind of wash through you, to move through, you know. We have a time, Capricorn, where it's almost like we can create bridges to things, okay? We can start to kind of almost create new pathways because we are expanding our mind and we are allowing ourselves the opportunity to research and to dive a little bit deeper into things. It's a time when we want to add to, not take away. Now here we have the energy of love. Now this is the Witch's Tarot, and she takes a really interesting approach by sort of flipping some of the major arcana, which I thought was kind of interesting to use this deck in January because it allows us like a new perspective on things straight away, so that we're not starting out with some of the same kind of fixed ideas, shall we say. So you have love here, which equates to the energy of the lovers. Now she's connecting here to the energy of the fox, which again is about this sense of discernment. There's also a question of trust coming up here. And so where we have this choice and decision coming up with the Two of Air, and then we have this energy of love coming through, again, this further emphasis around choices being really important for things. I want you to remember that choosing yourself, Capricorn, at times can be really painful, but it's always worth it. And in some ways, you know, being brave enough to be able to choose yourself. Also, you know, it gives permission for the people who you do want in your life, who you are connecting with, who you are trying to resolve and to maybe work through some things, you know, for them to be able to be honouring and respecting themselves, so that actually then what you both bring to the table is a level of authenticity and truth about actually what your needs, wants and desires are. And so, as difficult as it can be, it's important through this month of January, as you look at all of the options and you are really discerning, if you are ready to break some of the cycles, which I know that you are, and this new moon is giving you that kind of wherewithal, this kind of leap energy to say, okay, I can kind of make progress and very quickly. And, you know, understanding kind of who you want to be, how you want to be known, how you want to show up in those relationships, in the way that you are projecting and presenting yourself professionally, it's going to be really front and center stage, especially in this solar returns time. Now, Jupiter, when it shifted into Pisces at the end of December, it's a gorgeous transit that we're going to be working with for the next few months, because, you know, what truly aligns with what you want to create, you know, the spiritual kind of explosion and ability to kind of really tap into that is going to be so beneficial for you. You have the 8 of water here, so 8 of cups, and again there's this release energy, but here we have all of the baby turtles kind of making their way out into the ocean. So there's something a little bit trepidatious about this, isn't there? You know, it's kind of walking into the unknown, but you have the beautiful illumination here of the full moon. Now we have a Cancer full moon coming in on the 17th, water energy. So I feel like in and around this time, there's an important choice or decision about embarking on that journey, taking the opportunity to say, you know what, even without all of the information, I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to kind of take that leap. You're not alone here either, is what I want to say, Capricorn. So, you know, even though this is a journey that you have to make the decision on, you have to decide what's going to feel right for you. I still feel during that time through the month of January, you are going to come into contact, you are going to feel that there are other people, there are other energies, and that you're part of an experience that's like this beautiful wave, you know, it really is coming through. And there's this kind of acceptance, if you like, that, you know, we're not sure if we're going to make it all the way, but there's this innate drive that's kind of coming up within you that says, I have to try. And we really want you to kind of commit to the change that you say that you want, because it isn't just going to happen, Capricorn. It isn't. So through this month of January, looking at all of these options, really starting to play and experiment with what it feels like for you as you consider some of the things that are going to be important, and then allowing yourself to actually move forward in whatever way that feels right. Remember, we're going to be adding to things, we're building bridges to things all the way through the course of this month. Now, Uranus is going to be shifting direct in Taurus on the 18th. Again, this kind of inner spiritual revolution that's been taking place while it's been retrograde these past few months, all coming to a point of new understanding and awareness, and Jupiter in Pisces supporting that. You have the messenger of water, so you've got Page of Cups coming in here. You're diving deep into something. Again, you're not alone here, okay? Again, the view is slightly obscured. We've got this seaweed sort of making the water not feel as crystal clear as it could be. And so how do we manage that? How do we move through this month feeling like, okay, we don't necessarily have all of the clarity that is required in order to kind of really trust in ourselves? Well, we have to find a different way of anchoring into that trust. If we can't see something with our physical eyes, if we can't observe it manifesting in front of us, then where do we go within ourselves to actually kind of find that sense of stability? And I think this is what you're cultivating, and it's a really, really important relationship that's being nurtured within you, because it means that what you say, what you embody, and how you trust in that process moving forward is the thing that's going to be carrying you all the way through the next 12 months. We want you to stop downplaying what feels good to you, Capricorn. You know, that messenger of water is also highlighting the beautiful, rich, creative tapestry of energy that's swirling all around you. So who feels good to talk to and connect to? What are the things in January that you need to return to that are just going to give you some respite? They're going to give you those moments of just that sacred space that allows you to feel like you. Because in doing so, this is where you really start to question things more discerningly. It's kind of when you're in your natural essence, you know, when you're not being contrived, when you're not having to show up or to kind of play the role or, you know, put the mask on that somebody's asked of you, that's when everything starts to unlock for you. And this is where I feel you get a much clearer sense of how you want to be known, of what that legacy looks and feels like for you. Now, when the sun shifts into an Aquarius on the 19th of the month, I feel like there's going to be an incredible illumination for you around some of the ideas that you've been working with perhaps for the last few months. And there's almost this spark now of understanding. It's almost like a beautiful spiritual download that comes in about how to really make something tangible from this. You've got the 9 of Earth, 9 of Pentacles here. Again, I love this sort of pilgrimage of all of these wolves trekking across this beautiful, pristine white landscape. You've got this clear midnight sky, this beautiful northern lights coming in here. There's just something beautifully spiritual about this. But again, this pilgrimage is showing me that, you know, once you come out of this place of indecision, or you just come to terms, you come into a place of acceptance about what you need to do, where you need to be, how you're going to move forward. And rest assured, like, Spirit are not leaving you high and dry in the month of January, Capricorn. There's really this sense of you being given a very clear, very profound indication of which way to go. And again, you're finding your tribe here. You're not alone. There is this sense of community that's really coming in to support you. And, you know, even where you may feel this aspect of, you know, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, you kind of have to look at what is going to bring me the most peace. And there's one thing for sure, like, standing still is not going to be the deliverance of that. Okay, again, working with this restlessness energy, working with this feeling of, you know, how do I channel out this anxiety? How do I let go of any kind of fear or any kind of projection of things that are coming my way? It is about shifting up your routine, doing things differently. It's about reasserting your sense of value. And in Aquarius season, second house, it's very much about that value consciousness for you. Of course, Venus retrograde in your sign is further highlighting that as you really decide what and whom you want to commit to with a greater degree of certainty and knowing deep within you. Now, you've got further support with Mars shifting into your sign of Capricorn on the 24th of the month, okay? And what's also going to happen is that Mercury retrograde that began in Aquarius on the 14th is actually going to move into your sign retrograde from the 25th through to February the 3rd, okay? So here you have the craftsman of water. So this equates to the Queen of Cups here, okay? And doing a beautiful dance here. Holding up the snake is almost this sense of like a transmutation, like a rebirth energy. It's very scorpionic. Now, we do have this kind of quite heavy cloud in the backdrop, but again, it's surrounded by this beautiful blue sky here, okay? And you're in a very open position here. You're kind of really allowing yourself to be vulnerable in the backdrop of something that feels a little bit confusing. You're still nice and grounded. You've got bare feet here, and there's space all around you to be able to move, okay? But this kind of initiation, this beautiful spiritual dance that you're playing out with yourself, and I feel importantly perhaps with some relationships in your life through the course of January, Capricorn, are really helping you to see things very differently. This is where we start to decide we are figuratively, metaphorically, and then taking the inspired action to actually break a cycle. I feel really strongly by the time you come to the end of the month, there is something for you that has fundamentally shifted in the way that you are showing up in an important relationship. Now, of course, that first and foremost should be within the self, but I feel it's also going to make a huge difference in terms of somebody very significant in your life. Why is this so important? Because that change that you make really close to home It's almost about the way in which you are now able to start expressing a new energy. It's a new energy that's already been downloaded to you, that you've already started to tap into, Capricorn. And in doing so, you're now starting to impact and affect the collective, because you've made that conscious choice to change something. The discernment has enabled you to look beyond what is and to tap into a future vision of yourself, of what you want to achieve, of your legacy, of the relationship that's important to you. And here we've got the Four of Fire, the Four of Wands energy. There's something beautiful, celebratory, very calm and peaceful about this. For some of you, there may be discussions around relocation or something in that emotional foundation shifting, where you're working, where you're spending time. But here we've got something really idyllic coming in. So it feels that where you are on the move to, where you're choosing to spend your time and who you're choosing to be around is actually going to start to balance your energy out much more effectively. Now, that might not all come to pass in January, but it's certainly a month when you're considering and looking at everything. The more you can sit with multiple options, it's not going to feel overwhelming. This is the really interesting thing. Like, even though I've got this restlessness, this kind of anxious energy, and we've got all of these retrogrades which combined can feel a little bit confusing and hypnotic, at the same time, I don't have you overwhelmed. I have you actually coming through this process of being almost directed on a detour. It's like you can't go the same way you've always gone. You can't apply the same methodology or the same process to figuring out an answer or solution. And in that, this is how you're being able to kind of discover something new about yourself, about an important relationship, about what matters to you. And this is where you start to return to this natural essence that is really where all your power is. Now, that natural essence has shifted and changed. So you're actually raising your vibration in a beautiful new way. Now, Venus is going to shift direct in Capricorn on the 29th. You'll still have shadow over the course of February, but really, again, you're going to have learned so much and really come to terms with things in a beautiful new way. Initiation here, again, we've got her sort of bending down by the water side and, allowing herself to take a drink. It's just like being restored and rejuvenated here. And, we have this badger in the backdrop, and it's actually carrying, it looks like a boot here. Or is it like a baby? I'm not sure. Okay. So I want to say this feels like a boot. So I'm just going to go with this because there's something about the journey that you've walked on, and kind of conversations that go around this topic of being able to walk in other people's shoes. We have that phrase, like you haven't walked in their shoes. Well, I feel like there's something about January where you're able to have that really authentic, truthful conversation with somebody that says, actually, like, I really know what you've gone through. I really understand what that feels like. So that means for me that there's something very important that you are imparting by way of wisdom, by way of support and help to somebody. But what I also have, because it's now being carried, is that there's something beautifully supportive coming in for you too. Okay, there's some help that's coming in that says, if you need carried, if you've got to that point of exhaustion, if you've run out of something, if there is a sense of running dry here, there is this kind of at the right time, something showing up that's going to be helpful and supportive and allow you some respite, allow you to kind of sit back here, okay? Now we have the two fox cubs sort of undoing the belts here. And again, for me, this feels like something that you've had to keep kind of really tight. You've had to kind of hold on to. And what we have here now is an opportunity to let it go, to release. But there's also this traveling capacity, kind of, it's almost like you've had to carry this really heavy load with you. And again, the bird's wings are outstretched. So it's like now you're becoming free of the burden of something. And that feels really beautiful. So there is this sense of feeling free. And as we come right toward the end of the month, now the new moon in Aquarius is going to come like the 31st, like into the 1st of February. So we've almost got that 2 new moons in the first month of the year. And so again, I have this sense of just you feeling much lighter within yourself about things that are unfolding around you in your life at the moment. And I think that's important. I'm not saying that they're going to be any less complex. I'm not saying that they're not any less challenging, but the way that you're actually able to deal with something, the way that you're able to navigate with something, you yourself just feel far more optimistic and far more able to cope. Because of the way that you've been able to shift and move your own energy around. And these bridges that are coming through are going to be so important. So you have the Seven of Air here, which is effectively like the Seven of Swords. And I think one of the deeper questions you're going to be asking yourself is like, why do I feel like I have to keep wearing this mask? Why do I feel like I'm not yet worthy of being able to openly, outwardly express who I am, what I feel, what I want? And I think all of this retrograde introspection is really kind of asks some deeper questions of you. Now again, all of these feathers are sort of going in different directions, and we even have the sort of switchback energy of the path in the backdrop here. You have to be aware, Capricorn, there are going to be some people who unfortunately intentionally are going to want to come along and try to confuse you, intentionally try to redirect you in the wrong path, or say or do things that are coming from a place of projection, because they are coming at it from a place of their own sabotage energy. And so I don't feel that you're really falling for that. All of the fox energy coming through here shows me a discernment and a cunningness and an ability on your part to be able to see straight through things. So remember what I said, like even though there is some aspect of these retrograde energies feeling confusing, at the same time what they are not doing is making it to the degree that you're making wrong choices because of others' influence. Now, what that means is that you maybe just have to take a beat and to take a step back before you really like throw yourself into anything. But there's also a lot of guilt for me that's coming through with that Seven of Swords. So there's a suggestion that somebody is acting out of guilt, that they may be saying or doing things, that's coming from an overly defensive situation, or they're wanting to kind of almost redirect your energy or your attention because they don't want you to see, or they don't want you to get to the truth of something that has happened, or something that they've they've approached in a specific way, okay? But remember, you're just coming off this place of being able to be restored and rejuvenated. And again, I just feel like because we have this powerful sense of you breaking a cycle and you being able to really question the validity of whatever this is in your own personal experience, it's going to allow you to move out of denial energy. And of course, the universe always wants to test us, doesn't it? To say, have we really learned that lesson? Or, how discerning are we being? How much are we trusting within ourselves? Okay, let's take a look and see how these oracle cards want to join this energy conversation for you, Capricorn. Okay, this is the Priestess of Light deck. So we have clairvoyance, inspiration, interpretation, and trust. And again, the vision quest, if you like, of this beautiful spiritual wave of energy, you're really going to feel Jupiter in Pisces as a transit. It's gorgeous energy for us all to be working with, really helping to unlock new awareness and really put us back in touch with ourselves in a really ephemeral way that allows that sense of energy expression through creativity, through our dreams, through our visioning. And this is going to be very important to help you make some of those decisions and choices that feel like they are coming your way, okay? Again, there's a quietness here, a sense of solitude as you really figure out what some of these signposts and messages are that are coming through for you. Pay close attention around that 17th with the full moon in Cancer, and also around the 27th, as well as just we kind of sit between that Mercury shifting retrograde into your sign and Venus moving direct, because I feel this time of January is going to be some really important inspirations and messages coming through from your own guides. Okay, so these are the Starcode Astro cards. Okay, so you have the South Node and past. Well, we're coming out now of the Gemini Sagittarius and shifting into the Taurus and Scorpio axis. But this, I suppose in some ways, like visitation of the past through some of these retrograde energies is important. What I need you to remember is that you are coming at it from such a different place this time around. You're going to feel this. You know, you're going to start to observe what these retrograde transits feel like in 2022 as opposed to how they would have affected you previously. There is going to be a complete shift in your awareness. And actually, I feel much more of a celebration of what they're going to do for you, because it's an opportunity for you to really demonstrate to yourself how far you've come and actually appreciate the sort of time out away from some of the meddling and the kind of main outwardly physical manifestations of things and come back into that sacred self. And, you know, instead of kind of looking at it as all of the reasons that it causes disruption, really observing it as this beautiful moment of where the magic happens and you come to terms with what the release is about. And that's really, I feel, what's going to be taking place in these particular retrograde transits, and with that emphasis of the South Node and the past and just kind of letting go. Now, this deck packs a punch. Okay, this is the Blindspot Oracle cards, and these sigils are amazing for shadow work. Now, what I'm going to do, Capricorn, is I'm just going to be pulling a card for you. I'm actually going to cover it off in the extended reading, okay? And it's going to be really exactly what it says. It will be what your blind spot is through the month of January, and perhaps an area that's going to allow you to work on some of the shadow things that are going on for you, okay? You have number 31, so we'll cover that off in the extended reading. If you would like to just think about a question that might not have come up in this main spread, okay, this is a general reading, I'm just going to pull a couple of cards for you just now on that as well, Capricorn. So just put some focus and intention around that. Okay. And again, we will cover this in the extended. If you're new to the channel, we will talk for another 20 minutes in the extended version. It's a way to give you some deeper insight into your personal questions and also go a little bit deeper into this reading and see what more we can unearth. So we're just going to begin with the Two of Air. We're going to clarify this for you just now. Okay, it's clarified with the same card, Two of Swords. And we also have the energy of the Hierophant coming in here. Ace of Wands. I love that stag as it just stands on the precipice there. But again, there's almost this divide happening, this kind of having to take this leap of faith, this choice to make. Five of Cups. The energy of Temperance. We might have Scorpio energy. We've got the South Node in Scorpio. We've got that Queen of Cups, and now we've got the energy of Death also relating to Scorpio. So that might be important for some of you. We have the Hermit coming in, which also links into Virgo energy. King of Swords. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. So much wisdom and information coming from you and towards you this month. Three of Wands, beautiful. Oh, three Kings coming in here, Capricorn. Star. Oh, all four Kings, there we go, interesting. A lot of masculine energy available for you to draw upon this month. Another Four of Wands coming in there. Okay, Three of Pentacles with that Seven of Swords. Okay, just going to pull one more. Two of Wands. Okay, Capricorn, thank you so much for joining me. If you would like to come and join me on the extended, you can find the link for that in the comment section and the description underneath. Please do drop me a like and a comment if the reading has resonated. Be sure to check in throughout the month and see how some of these messages and insights continue to unfold and resonate for you. I appreciate your support of my work so much, and I look forward to connecting with you on the extended. Have a beautiful solar return season.